Hi guys, this is my channel about homebrewing, and today I want to talk about this beer which was brewed at extreme temperature. It was fermented as high as 42°C, which is 107.6 Fahrenheit, and cold crushed at minus 14°C, which is 6.8 Fahrenheit. So we're gonna have a look at the brew day, come back, talk about what actually happened, and of course taste the beer. And yeah, let's run through the recipe. So, hang on. I usually go through the grain bill at this moment, but this is one of those everything but the kitchen sink brews. So I can't really remember how much of everything, but I have it written down, so we will put it into Beersmith, do a recipe while mashing, so we can plan our hops. But we have some Munich malt, we have dark wheat malt, we have rye malt, we have special B malt, we have biscuit malt, and I topped it up with Pilsner malt. So I actually managed to empty out 5 bags today. I think special B, dark wheat, Munich, rye, and biscuit. Yeah, 5 bags. And like that wasn't enough, I also emptied out a bag of flaked oats. Not much, 171 grams, but I won't run the flaked oats through the mill. Shout out to Release the Dragon. He knows what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, the grains are crushed, and here's the oats. Let's mash in. Okay, our water are up to temp. Gonna add about 2 caps of lactic acid. Hopefully that will get us to a good pH level. I'm gonna start mashing at 65°C. So giving this a good stir. I usually stir it quite well the first time, and then I will come back about 50 minutes to take the pH, and then I'll give it a second stir. And can't say that I find any dough balls a second time, never have done, so I think the method works quite well. Gonna add some rice hulls today, just in case. We have wheat in here, we have oats, we have rye, so it could be a sticky mess. So I'm gonna add like half a bag of rice hulls. That's 125 grams. Okay, it's time to taste the starter. The yeast I'm using is Kveik yeast. Can't remember what the name of the strain is right now, but it's the Kveik yeast I stole from Adam Walker, the Kveik yeast he used in his elderflower. So this is a sample of the starter, which has been going for 3 days now, cold crashing it overnight. Smells lovely. Cookies, vanilla, some... No, it's not vanilla, it's more like... It's a buttery kind of scent to it. Yeah, like pastry. Yeah, let's dive in. It's clean, fruity. Yeah, this will make a good starter. Cheers, guys. Let's see what pH we have. This sample is very sweet, so some conversion has gone. It's a little bit cold also. I could heat it up by adding some hot water to it. Why not? Just some. See if that helped. The temperature. Still a bit cold. Let's add some more. We're in the zone. 2 caps is a good amount of lactic acid normally for me. 5.3. Awesome. Okay, we have mashed out now. Put the element on to start heating up for the boil. Move this a bit. Really smells like cookies. Might be the high amount of biscuit malt in there. The sparge water are heated up to about 79 C, something like that. pH adjusted to 6. Okay, let's hit it with some sparge water. Now the rice hulls really helped, I think. I think this is gonna be a quick sparge, and a quick sparge can actually lower the efficiency a bit. I calculated my efficiency a little bit down for this one because it had some sticky malts in there, like wheat and rye and oats. I'm usually about 78% efficiency, but I calculated this to 76, and that might be too high. When I do a wheat beer, I usually calculate to 72% efficiency. But I don't really care if we end up with a little less sugar. Okay, I'm gonna sparge up to 28 liters. We're almost up to a boil now. Gonna skim this. Also gonna take a sample so we can draw a pH. Draw a sample so we can take a pH. No! Everything goes wrong. I'm also gonna take a sample so we can measure our post-boil gravity. You see there's some small pieces of grain here. Let me show you a trick, what you can do if you want to get rid of many of them. I'm not afraid of little pieces of grains in the wort, but if you really want to get rid of most of them, doing this method picks up a lot of them. As you see, down the dusty canyon, the rusty canyon, sorry. And while I'm doing this, I'm also keeping an eye on the wort so we don't have any boil overs. Down the rusty canyon. Okay, we're up to a boil. Took a pre-boil, and we come on, we ended up with 1041, and that takes me to an efficiency of 72%. That's what I said. When I have a stickier mash, I get around 72%, so I should have calculated with that in the first place, but lowered it just a bit. This is actually first time brewing with rye, so but 72%, it's my normal wheat beer mash efficiency. So let's start the timer. Won't be adding any hops at this stage. I'm gonna do a 60-minute boil. Okay. 50 minutes left. In goes 20 grams of Ella hops. This is the first hop drop. Smells good. Trying to whirlpool, or in this case circulate through the hop spider, but this model is a bit too fine. I need a coarser one. Five minutes left. In goes 30 grams of Ella hops. Okay, back at flame out. Okay, flame out. In goes some more Ella hops. And that's 50 grams. So I can get the rest out of the bag. Okay. So flame out. We're still hot. Have calculated for like 2 minutes of hot steeping. Then I'm gonna lower the temperature to about 70, under 70, and gonna let it steep for a while. Okay, we're down to 70 C now. Don't need to add any heating. It can continue cooling. I've shut off the water, so it doesn't really matter if it drops a few degrees. So we're gonna let it steep now for 15-20 minutes, and then we will cool it down to pitching temperature. And we're whirlpooling. Okay. What we're gonna do today is that we're gonna place the fermenter on here. This is a thick piece of foam, at least 10 millimeter, and this is an heating mat for pets, 18 watts. So it's insulated under. Then I'm just gonna place the fermenter on top here and see what temperature we get. And I have no temperature controller to control this with, but I'm thinking if it gets too hot, just slide some of the heating pad away from the fermenter, and if it's not hot enough, it ain't working, or maybe I should have to insulate the fermenter a bit. Don't want to do it today, because I don't want to insulate the fermenter with more foam or something like that today, because this is just a trial run. I think we will get some heat from it, so it's an experiment as usual. And of course we're gonna hook up a temperature probe to the fermenter. I've made this insulated pad from bubble wrap and tape. Let's take the gravity reading, the OG. It's 1045, and that's spot on with the efficiency rolled down to 72, of course. Okay, we're chilling again. I expect this to go quite fast. It's, as you see, quite cold outside, and the water are cold, and we're not gonna cold as much as usual. I'm gonna stop it at 30, so we're soon there. Okay, we're almost at 35 now. I'm gonna stop it at 35. And I will transfer it over into the fermenter and pitch our Kveik. Okay, it's 35 degrees, so I'm gonna kill the water, giving it a 1 minute blast with oxygen, and time is up. And here's the decanter starter, the Sigmund Voss Kveik yeast. Okay. Are you ready? And there's a tradition, Norway tradition, when adding Kveik, you have to scream to the yeast while it goes in. Hope that helped. Okay, hat on. Now let's hook up the airlock and put it on the heating pad. Sorry about the noise, it's the laptop. Okay, so the bucket is placed on the heating pad, as you see. And the probe are insulated under here. We're still equaling out the temperature, but it's at 29.5 now. I wish to ferment this over 32 degrees, somewhere in the 32 to 38 range. So we're gonna see if we can do it this way. I'm gonna put a waste bag, dark waste bag over here, so we don't get as much light in. Still climbing. This is another cool experiment. After an hour, we're up to 31.4, and I stopped there. I've put one plastic bag and 2 blankets to insulate it, but I have this smaller one that we could try to add as well. I'm quite pleased with the 31.4, but let's try if adding this smaller one in the front will push it up even further. This is for a whole another experiment, but let's try it again. Let's try it today as well. So I will just place this in the front. No, nothing to show, I think. I don't want to put the other one over this one or vice versa. So there's very little contact area. But let's try it. Okay, let's see what happens. Back in a bit. couple of hours later. So we have the double heat pads, a waste bag, 2 blankets, and now another waste bag on top of it. Right now we are sitting at 33.7, ambient temperature 19.5, so it's clearly working, and the goal was to get between 32 and 38, and we're still climbing, but at this stage we're good. Hope it works. We're 2 hours off the pitch, and you can actually hear the airlock going crazy under there. There's no need to open this package up. I don't know if you can hear it. Hope you can hear it. So fermentation are on its way. Of course, there's also heating, but just going crazy. And that's Kveik. We're now up to 35.4. And yeah, it's the same evening as it's the same brew day. 35.6. So far so good. Okay guys, so you saw the Brewday and some of the fermentation climbing and testing out the system. That's the experiment that really turned out to my heating controlled system. Check out that video. It's about if you don't have a fermentation fridge and you need some other ways to control your fermentation temperature. So that's a cool idea which works awesome. So check out that video, but yeah, stay on at this one, of course, to the end as always. I lost some files there, but I actually, with both of the heat mats, been able to push up the temp to 42°C the next day. So I let it right at 42°C, and it was fermented, yeah, like in 2 days, something like that. And then I took it outside, and yeah, you saw this was made for yeah, in winter, so it has been sitting in the keg for quite a while. I will come back to that. But what happened is we had a cold drop, and the temperature, the outside temperature dropped down to -14°C, 6.8 Fahrenheit. And yeah, I thought the temperature would go up, but it wouldn't really. So it froze solid. So after a week with cold temperature, I pulled it into my bathroom, let it sit there, the bucket, to thaw up. And what actually happened was that, well, all of the sugars sank, so it was very concentrated at the bottom. First I was thinking about throwing it away, but I decided to keg it. Gonna come to that as well. I think it's a good thing. The more I emptied out, of course, got less and less sugars. I tried it, the rest that was left in the bucket, and that was very watery, and of course the first part was very thick and gloopy and sweet. Tasted like very concentrated, yeah, because it was. So this has been conditioning for quite a while, and it really needed it. It didn't need this amount of time, but I want to clear this keg to fit some other beers in. So we're doing the call it, review the grain to glass. We're doing the grain to glass with you now. So at first it has its concentrated flavor. It was like, you know, it was mixed fruit, canned fruit, concentrate, maybe some orange notes, and yeah, still have, it's like a almost syrup. It's a canned fruit. A little like we have this almost like a soda, like Pommac Champis. I'm gonna try to put some pictures up here. Don't know if you guys have something. If someone knows, please comment down below if there's an English or American variety of the Pommac or Champis. Yeah, you get that on the nose. So the head sticks around quite nicely. It ain't that dark on camera. It's more of a dark orange, which I had lighter here, but I don't. Yeah, it ain't actually this warm in Sweden, but yeah, I wanted to be cool for the channel, so yeah, you do what you do. You do what you get to do. Yeah. Okay, let's dive in. Cheers. So this has improved massively with conditioning. At first it was like overwhelming, canned fruit, like orange concentrated canned fruit, like if you have mixed oranges in those fruits canned. I will put a picture up. Yeah, you will get it. Now it's actually very nice. Still have a hint of orange, and it's like a thick soda orange. I would like to say licorice, but maybe not. But it's something, you know, orange licorice candy, something like that. Maybe without the licorice, but still. Does that make sense? And this was fermented with Sigmund Voss Kveik yeast, which I stole from a bottle of elderflower beer sent to me from Adam Walker. I will put a card up and a link down below from the tasting video where I got a yeast from. And I must say, if it's very clean. So, and this was fermented 42C. This would be a very good yeast for like a pale ale or IPA, whatever. You don't have to ferment it at 42C, 107.6 Fahrenheit. I usually forget to mention the Fahrenheit, but many of my viewers are from the States, so I hope I can be better to remember to also get you the numbers in Fahrenheit. Please start use the metric system in Celsius, but until then I will try to get better for you, okay? With that said, I'm gonna go through the recipe, and I want to do that in metric. Sorry guys. But I can give you some percentage in IBUs instead. Hope that's okay. It's a really nice beer. I have to drink up the rest because I want to empty out the keg. The beer stopped at 10:10, so I think we'll have to look at the recipe. It has an original gravity of 1045 and stopped at 1010. That would be 4.6, but this is concentrated, so I don't really have a clue on the alcohol, but I can't taste any alcohol at all. Okay, let's run through the recipe, and of course the recipe goes up on my Patreon site as well. It actually have been there for quite a while, but I will put a card up so you can go and check out the Patreon page if you want access to recipes and more content, and just want to show your support for the channel. Really appreciate your help, guys. So this was what I call a Slatten brew. The dregs of all the rest of I have in bags and all that. So Slatten could be drags the last in the bottle. Woo! So it's very much like anything but the kitchen sink. I used 1.5 kilos of Pilsner, that's 30%. I round up the percentage. 1 kilo of rye malt, that's 20%. 1 kilo of wheat, it was a dark wheat malt, not like a chocolate wheat, but a darker wheat malt. That was 20% of that as well, a kilo. 410 grams of biscuit malt, that's 8.5%. 370 grams of Munich malt, that's 7.5%. 300 grams of torrefied wheat, 6.2%. And 170 grams of flaked oats, that's 3.5%, and 140 grams of special bee malt, that's about 3%. And I used totally 100 grams of Ella hops. I had an old bag which had been stored in the freezer, so it was very fresh. Of course, there's no like hops in it now, but it's very yeast dominant flavor. Not that yeasty, but the fruit, the orange, all of that things is from the Sigmund Voss Kveik. So I used 20 grams of Ella at 14.60% alpha acid, and 30 grams of Ella at 14.60, as well, alpha acid. It was the same pack, right? And 50 grams of Ella at flame out. So and Beersmith calculates that to about 30.4 IBUs. Of course, it depends very much on the cooling there, but this was fermented with the Sigmund Voss Kveik, which I stole from one bottle, made a small starter from, which I ramped up into another one. Go and watch the video where I stole it. Very nice beer from Adam Walker. Cheers, Adam, if you're watching, and congratulations to your new baby and your new house and your new brew area, to everything. Was sad that I wasn't able to that you wasn't able to come to the London gathering this year. Hope you will be there next year. I will surely try to come over. Cheers. So guys, there you have the extreme brew. I never brewed a beer at this temperature, but it worked. Really liked this Kveik strain. Gonna use it again, but I will try to experiment with a little lower temperature. If it can produce such a clean beer at 42 C, 107.6 Fahrenheit, this seems like a very good yeast for, like I said, a pale IPA, maybe bitter. I don't know. Try it with whatsoever. Porter, stout. I wouldn't do like a Belgian because don't have any like those esters, something like that. It's very clean. But any English, or why not pack it with hops, do Napa or whatever. The Sigmund Voss Kveik, that's my favorite Kveik so far. And how many Kveiks have I actually tried? Yeah, maybe 3. 3. Okay, I'm rambling now, guys, so I'm gonna sign out. But cheers and thanks for watching. If you're new to this channel, please consider becoming a subscriber. And if you want even more content, why don't you check out my Patreon page and of course all of my other videos. So cheers, guys, and thanks for watching. DrHans out.